Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well.
Hear ye. Let the record show that this viewer was here first.
And of course, good morning, mini Motorways. We're going to Beijing for today's daily challenge. We will start with 4 roundabouts and have a lot of double destinations. Hi, Nora. Hello. Here. Yes. Oh, you're a good kitty. Here, you've been scooped. There's your kitty cat. Oh, yes. Hello, Trombone Dalek. Samurai Sam was here first. Hello. Yes, you're a good kitty. You are. Oh, you're very confused for some reason. Okay, now you figured it out and you don't like it, so you're crawling up me. Bye. All right, she's gone. She'll be back later, presumably. I don't know. She really doesn't like it when I close the curtain in the window that's immediately to my right. Hi. Dalek was worried when I didn't stream yesterday morning. Well, I had a perfectly good reason, which was I didn't want to. I slept late. I slept too late. I was slow getting out of bed. By the time I realized it was time for me to haul my ass out of bed, it was like 6:51, and I honestly didn't feel like hurrying to get the stream going for 7, so I didn't. And then I wound up having like a 6-hour job, and then we played Dragon Age Origins, and that was my day yesterday. It was fine. Today, I'm gonna do this, and then I have a job, and then I'm gonna dick around, and then it's gonna be time for Dynamite, because it's Wednesday. We watch Dynamite on Wednesday. And do I have one more of those in me? I think I have one more of those in me. So, tonight, I'm very excited to watch Dynamite! I promise I'll never make that sound ever again. Ever. And if any of you turn it into a drop, you're going to be disappointed because there's music in the background and it's very hard to isolate. So, sucks to be you fucker. Here. All right, we're going to take this light blue and this blue, and we're going to run them down here. This is going to share a parking lot with, oh, actually, hold on. No, I don't want to do that, because if this shared a parking lot, these reds might cut through here to get here, which is not what I want. I want there to be more red houses in general, but I do want to keep the reds and yellows as separate as possible. So let's do that. I'll take another bridge. I have 4 roundabouts, so I don't really need another set of traffic lights. Yesterday, for those who do the daily challenge, you know that it was all roundabouts all the time, and it was fun. I did not great, but better than Sam. Sam had a dog shit time yesterday with the daily challenge, which, hey, listen, we've all been there. Y'all have seen me have dog shit times with daily challenges, so let he who is not in glass, round, confusing houses throw the first circular stone. I don't know. There's something in there about Proverbs and Roundabouts, but Proverbs and Roundabouts is actually a good name for the episode now that I think about it. All right, Proverbs and Roundabouts. There we go. Dalek says it's valid to not feel like fucking doing anything yesterday morning, which is why I didn't stream. Dalek was just worried something might have happened. Oh, Discord exists. I posted in the Discord. Bang Discord. Thank you for your concern, but also, let it not be said that I pass by an opportunity to drop a plug. Here is a plug. There. Let us take a motorway. You bang that Discord, Trombone Dalek. Wait, no, there's a lot of people in there. That would be painful. You'd get tired after a while. You need to manage your fluid intake. Don't bang that Discord. All right, here. This red is going to come down here. This red is going to be the sole support for this guy for the moment. These greens, I think I'm going to pass up the motorway. Instead, we'll draw a big long road for them. These 2 reds, with nothing to do, however, are prime candidates for motorway number 1. They will supplement this guy in supporting this business, and everything will be fine. I kind of want to separate this red from these yellows, but I don't think that's necessary, honestly. I think for the most part that had to be red, huh? Spotify had to decide to stop playing music, huh? All right, well, goodbye, motorway number 1. Your life was short and inconsequential, but, can't we say that for all of us? We'll send reds and grays down this way, and we will once again be 1 red house short. That's fine. Here, give me 30 road tiles so as to finance future motorway opportunities. Now then, this business or this business, one of them has to get by with only 1 red house, which sucks for that particular business, but Can I... Oh, we've got more blues coming here. Misread the name of the Discord, thought it was a play on words of mitosis and meiosis, then was slightly disappointed. No, I am not that much of a science dork. I am, however, that much of a dork for possibly 90s, maybe even 80s children's movie called The Adventures of Milo and Otis, which, as I recall, is about a cat and a dog who get separated from home and have to find their way home. But also it's voiced by people who give the cat and the dog silly voices. No, not that one. You're thinking of Homeward Bound. I mean the other one. The Adventures of Milo and Otis. It is, as I recall, a good fun movie. Alright, this blue business is starting to fall behind, so let's awkwardly incorporate some more blue guys. Behold, the awkward incorporation of more blue guys. Alright, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. We're going to take another bridge. You're going to come down here. We're going to come this way, like so. We're going to put a traffic light right here. Haha. So now, these 3 blue guys come straight through here. When this one is needed, it goes right against the light or left like so. All right. These 3 greens are not doing the job. Are they doing the job? They're kind of doing the job. The job's just a bad job to have to do, TBH. These 3 blues up here might want to... Okay, all right, listen, friends. You and you. We're not going to do 2 bridges. In order to road these 3 over to here, we do 2 bridges. So, Trombone Dalek has a complaint to register about my Discord. There is not a section to drop pictures of. You can put cat pics in general. I might or might not create a pets channel for the server. If the server if people in the server demand a pets channel, then there shall be a pets channel, because god damn it, I'm a man of the people, so long as the people are talking about me, or at least in my Discord server. There. All right. Let's kill this. Do I think there's going to be a case for these 3 blue guys to... Not really. Here, let's kill this road. Not that road. Not that road, but this road. You and you are going to come up here. You've got to come this way, and then, no, maybe, this way, there. And I will not use a bridge to save 1 road tile. We'll do that, and we'll do that. And you 4 blues come all this way to support that business. Once I get a motorway, this shit is going away. I sneezed. I sneezed very hard, and now my nose is stuffed, and I sound like this. Oh, we're taking a motorway, and ooh, you remember that thing I said about once we get a motorway, this shit's going away? I think I might need to take that back, because now we have this shit. And these reds need to get down here, so they can take the motorway number 2, like so, right here. We're gonna tweak motorway number 2. There. You do that. So we get reds down here. We also got to get grays down here, which sucks. Yeah, that sucks. All right. Well, good news. Well, bad news for the... Good news and bad news. How about that? For my grays and reds. We have this situation going on here. However, this is a problem. you know, might be solved by a roundabout? Not really. So these two grays hop down here, get on the motorway, go over that way. That's fine. However, we still have these two grays and, well, this gray business will probably be fine. This gray business I'm not so sure about. I'm not entirely sure about the sustainable future of the gray business. But we'll see. We shall see. You know, we don't have any circles yet, which, now that I've said that, one of these grays is absolutely going to go circular in like 8 seconds. Because look at how many gray houses have spawned, and oh, look, a gray. Or, oh, look, a circle, not a gray. You're a circle. You're a blue circle instead of a gray circle, which means the North wins the Civil War, the South shall rise again, only for us to bash them back down, because fuck the South in the context of the Civil War, not the actual literal American South. Although, well, anyway, here, let's not kill a tree if we don't need to kill a tree. We'll run blue guy down that way. All of you blues have this very long road. And that's just going to be fine. These grays are struggling. Yeah, this is not a great situation that we have going on here. Okay, you know what? I think it's time for a quick reassessment. Let us quickly reassess. So if we do a roundabout here, right, we can slide motorway number 2 over like this. So the reds come at it from here, the grays come at it from here, and these grays up here now have a choice. They can hop the roundabout, they can get down into here. There. You go off that away, swing down here. You 3 reds might be underserved doing this, but I think, generally speaking, it's going to be fine. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull 1 gray off of you and send you down this way. There. Can I make this a little bit nicer? Swell. Samurai Sam wants to remember Hardcore Holly, who, despite his name, was not a porn star. Hardcore Holly was Bob Holly, who had a long career, considering how middling he was, but hey. So once upon a time, there was a wrestler named Bob Holly, and he was, is that his actual name? It might or might not actually be his name. Once upon a time, there was a wrestler, and he was boring. He was very, very boring. But he was pretty good. And this wrestler went to the WWF in the mid-early 1990s, right? And Vince McMahon loves him very few things more than he loves middling, boring wrestlers. Because he can take these middling, boring wrestlers and turn them into weird cartoon character gimmicks. And the weird cartoon character gimmick that Vince McMahon came up with for the wrestler who would later be known as Bob Holly was, and I swear to God I'm serious about this, Sparky Thurman Plug. You see, the man's name was Thurman Plug, but he was like a spark plug. He was also, not coincidentally, a race car driver. Yeah! So he would wear a racing suit to the ring, and he would wrestle in his racing suit. You see, because his name was Sparky Thurman Plug, like a spark plug, like is in a race car. Do you get it? Because that's the entire... Yeah, seriously. Amazingly, would you believe it, Sparky Thurman Plug didn't get over. People didn't care about Sparky Thurman Plug. People didn't think that Sparky Thurman Plug had a chance to become the world champion. It's amazing what wrestling fans do and don't like. They're a weird, fickle, unpredictable bunch sometimes. And then sometimes you're trying to get over Sparky Thurman Plug. So Sparky Thurman Plug didn't really get over, but Vince McMahon is nothing if not stubborn. Sam is glad that Vince McMahon did dumb gimmicks so that the _ Goog could tell us about them decades later. That is a true thing. It is a benefit that perhaps we were unappreciative of in the moment. All right, let's traffic light this. We'll have these 4 yellows come over here and support this yellow circle, which is a good thing because that yellow circle is not getting any other support. As for everything else, before we continue with this tale of Sparky Thurman plug. Oh, gross. Oh, now we've got greens who have to get... Okay, badness and problems. Bad times, struggles on the bus. Okay. Let's see here. We're going to kill this traffic light. You two, right, are going to come up this way and support this yellow over here. Meanwhile, I have a whole shite load of greens. That's what you call it, by the way, a shite load. I'll take my whole shite load of greens and gently suggest to them that perhaps their lives would be enriched by coming up this way and going all the way over there saying, fuck you to that roundabout, and instead going into this double plaza. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Yeah. All right, you join that nonsense. You two, by the way, rather than joining that nonsense, why don't you come join this nonsense and support this green square right here? Thanks. Go. Trombone Dalek scrolled back through Discord, found all the pictures of Nora, including the very first one. Aww. She was an adorable little kitty cat. And now she still is an adorable little kitty cat, actually. But I digress. These blues over here, like this blue circle is constantly on the verge of being angry, which does make sense because I've got 8,000 blues here, not really. Okay, you know what? I feel like it might be time to get rid of this. If we get rid of this, all of this, and instead have a motorway, that seems reasonable, right? That seems like a good plan. Here, let's do that, and that, and that, and disconnect this, and send you up that way. So now all of these blues, right? Rather than taking a big, long, exceedingly stupid road to get down here, they can instead take motorway number 3 and be thusly distributed. Is this going to be better for them? Possibly. Zaydu is here, perhaps Zaidu, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but Zaydu suggests that I send the bottom left reds to the bottom right circle, thereby saving this motorway here. And honestly, Zaydu, that is not a bad idea. I do have 3 bridges. I do have a whole bunch of road. You know, I think you may be onto something. All right. You, all of y'all here are going to come down this way. And I want you here. You can all be on this road, actually. So all of y'all can come down this way. Yes, it's Zaydu. Turns out they're dating Tom Holland. Are Zendaya and Tom Holland still dating? They're a cute couple. All right. So in the absence of, in the presence of these 6 red guys coming over here and supporting this circle, this probably means that we don't need these 7 red guys to do what they're presently doing, which indicates that we can have them do, say, other things, such as we can kill this red road at the very least. For the moment, I might actually keep motorway number 2. I might keep motorway number 2 active just because it's also sending grays down here. Yeah, I might do that. But what I will definitely do is I'm out of road for a moment. This is a temporary situation. I am a temporarily embarrassed millionaire when it comes to roads. This is fine, actually. See? Look at all of my roads I suddenly have. You come over this way, and now we have the awkward situation of, actually, hold on, this is not an awkward situation at all, it just demands creativity. You swing down that way, you come over here, support this business, that's gonna be super. Okay, now then, light blues over this way, grays on this road is not the best thing in the world, but hey, that's a gray plaza, so I'm not gonna complain over much. Let's do this. I'm gonna move you down that way. So this makes more sense. This comes out here. Now I got to get light blues here, which is difficult. Actually, yeah. Well, never mind. What am I saying? It's not that difficult. I've got a whole bunch of blue guys right here. So why don't I take some of my blue guys who I have right here and draw them a bridge like so. All right. That will eventually, in the fullness of time, be good, I promise. Hopefully. Oh, look, it's something else for these grays to do. That's not going to be confusing in the slightest, I'm sure. You come out here. You come out there. I am literally one road tile short. Is nobody dying? Nobody appears to be dying. Oh, actually, nope. I did get more road back. Good. You go there. Great. Okay. Green points up this way. Blues right here don't appear to want to do anything. They could probably do with being on this motorway, but for the most part, I think it's actually fine. Okay. So Sparky Thurman Plug doesn't get over, right? In one of the bigger shocks in pro wrestling history, people don't want to pay to see Sparky Thurman Plug fight. Again, wrestling fans, they're so fickle, you'll never understand them. So when Sparky Thurman Plug doesn't get over, Vince McMahon decides, by God, it's Thurman, God damn it. And he decides that it would be better if his guy with a race car gimmick who can't actually drive race cars and won't even be allowed at NASCAR events to show off his gimmick, because for the most part, occasionally they're not, but for the most part, the fucking NASCAR is above allowing a lower mid-card World Wrestling Federation guy to show up at their fucking shows. Races. Whatever. So NASCAR won't even let him show off and pretend to drive a car. So there's very little for Sparky Thurman Plug to do, unless they change his name to Spark Plug Bob Holly. Would you believe it? Spark Plug Bob Holly.
Nora, stop clawing at that chair so much.
There's a kitty. Spark Plug Bob Holly does not get over any more than Sparky Thurman Plug. I know. You're shocked. All right, we got a gray guy going over here. So Spark Plug Bob Holly doesn't really get over, but he's the kind of guy where if you actually watched like mid-90s WWF, you would remember Spark Plug Bob Holly, because by God, they tried to get him over. It didn't work, but God, he was on every episode of Superstars. Which isn't saying much, because Superstars was the here's a bunch of guys who don't matter show, but hey. Now every show is the here's a bunch of guys who don't matter show. So that's nice. Let's take some of these grays away from here. We're going to disconnect that road. I don't think he was... Like, the thing with Sparkplug Bob Holly is the rosters on the early games were never big enough, right? Like the early games, like your NES games, your Sega Genesis games, like the roster for, say, WWF Royal Rumble or even WWF Raw on the Genesis were like 16 dudes, maybe 16 or 20 dudes. And at any given moment, Sparkplug Bob Holly was the, let's say 29th most important dude in the World Wrestling Federation. And look, you can say a lot of things about Vince McMahon's ability to create stars or WWE's ability to have a deep and meaningful roster, which is basically he sucks at it and they don't. But it's very hard to justify having 29 dudes who are all super viable big-time stars at the same time. That's not really how it works. So Sparkplug Bob Holly was never more than, say, the 29th most important dude in the WWF. Let's take another motorway and figure out what we want to do here. So, what's our biggest, stupidest road? Our biggest, stupidest road is probably this green highway, which takes all of these green fuckers up here over to this green double plaza. And don't get me wrong, that's a big, dumb, stupid road. However, it kind of works, and it's not like we're doing anything else with it. I think I'm just going to sit on this motorway, to be honest. Like, what else would I do here? I might, motorway these blues to save a bridge and get rid of this roundabout, but this roundabout works. You know what I might do, actually, is if I motorway these blues, then no, there's no reason to get fancy here. This is working. This is definitely suboptimal road design, but it's working right now. This gray business is happy. This gray business is happy. This light blue business is happy. This red circle, even though it has, 800 million dudes. The top red houses connecting to motorway 2 can face up to have less traffic. So these guys can just get out of the way, ooh. That's actually not a bad thought. Just get these fuckers out of the way so that we're less reliant on them to have less traffic in the motorway. And instead of traffic in the motorway, we get, these houses more involved, or say these houses down here. That is not a bad idea. Thank you, Zaydu. All right. Oh, you meant these guys. You meant these guys should go up into the roundabout to have less traffic here. I actually don't like that suggestion as much. Because, I recognize that this is kind of a problem. But, for the most part, well, okay, now our reds are starting to get mad. Reds are angry, which, I think I am going to pull this house off of here. We're going to send this guy down here. This red house is mad even though it has 4 houses on it, which indicates a likelihood that this red house will eventually be mad, which, yeah, this red business is starting to get mad. Let's see here. This is going to be fine. So eventually, and honestly, I don't know how this happened, Sparkplug Bob Holly develops a character where people are just like, man, that Bob Holly's kind of an asshole, isn't he? Now, part of the reason for this may have to do with the fact that IRL, man, that Bob Holly, he's kind of an asshole. He's a fucking shitbag, to be quite honest. All right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to move motorway number 2. Ooh, no, this isn't going to kill motorway number 2 because I have a spare motorway. We're going to take motorway number 2 and have it enter from the east rather than the west to get all of this traffic, including this house. All of this traffic, including that house, are going to start coming from a different direction. Now, you come up here. Thank you. You point that away. Pretend you're useful. You point down that away. Pretend you're useful. That Bob Holly, he's kind of an asshole. He's the kind of asshole that even professional wrestlers, for the most part, will look at and say, man, that guy's an asshole. Which meant, unfortunately, that for some, he was actually quite popular in the locker room, and they liked him. What we're going to do is we're going to further complicate this roundabout by making it so that all of these reds have the potential obligation to come down here and support this almost dying red square. It's going to be fine. All of this is fine. All right, this red circle is now very angry, but it's starting to catch up. I think we might be fine. And as soon as I say that, we get another yellow, but hey, we've got these yellows here who hadn't previously been doing anything. This blue nightmare is actually turning into a problem? Really? You're going to call that a problem? I don't believe you. Okay. So you come down this way. You're fine. Give me another motorway. You point down thusly. Get a little bit more active in here. You know what? You go out that way too. Great. Let's keep this circle happy. I said, let's keep this circle happy. Everybody go. Everybody go. All right. So, you come here. I am going to immediately disconnect this thing here because it's further complicating bullshit and I don't want it. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these 5 red dudes right here, take motorway number 4, swing in, down south. They will support this. It's going to be fine. So, eventually, Sparkplug Bob Holly's character becomes, man, that Bob Holly's kind of an asshole, isn't he? He's a jerk. He's rough and tough, and he's kind of hardcore. And he eventually just becomes known as Hardcore Bob Holly. And I don't really have a great... There wasn't like a great heel turn because, listen, they don't do big sweeping character arcs for the 29th most important dude on the roster, okay? What they do is they come up with a new gimmick and they say, hey, Bob, this is your gimmick now. And Bob kind of grumbles and surlies his way through it because, again, he's an asshole. Let's take another bridge. We have 2 roundabouts kicking around, not really doing anything. It's actually settling down into... Well, I say that, but then these light blues are on fire. I can get you without further complicating this. Sure, do that. You're fine. You're a circle now, which, whoo boy. Sam asks if the hardcore in Hardcore Holly has anything to do with hardcore matches, which, yeah, kinda, eventually. At first it didn't, but then the WWF got the idea to steal something from ECW, which was the general concept of hardcore matches. So eventually, the WWF Hardcore Championship came about, and the Hardcore Championship was, in its first instance, it was designed to be defended in, like, physical weapons involving gimmick matches, hardcore matches. And please don't think anything about the fact that hardcore wrestling implies that other wrestling is softcore. We don't mention that. It's funny, but we don't mention it for whatever reason. You remember 400 trips ago when I said this was settling into a nice pattern? Yeah, everything's doomed, actually. And we're going to crap out at about 3K. So, oops. 3,037 commuters. Okay. Sure, that feels like a decent number, but I'm betting I have a Samurai Slam coming. It is... Whoa! Top 3%? Top 3%? Nearly 1,000 more than Sam? Oh. Okay. I would take those. I can complain. Drop those GGs in the chat. If you got them. If you don't got them, you know how to fix getting them. All right, let's play Wordle. Here. You come in like so. We will flash our way to the first... My eyes! Holy... Well, that's good. That's good. That thing that I did. So eventually Hardcore Holly, like he's Sparkplug Bob Holly, and then he's Bob Holly, and then he's Hardcore Bob Holly, and then he's Hardcore Holly. Eventually they come up with a gimmick. This is a tangent. We are now going to tell 2 quick tangents about Hardcore Holly, right? One time they came up with a gimmick for him where he thought he was a super heavyweight. He demanded to compete against the biggest dudes in the World Wrestling Federation. Like, you know, the Big Show, who was like legit 7 foot tall. Oh, these 2 letters are going to suck because it could be flank, it could be flare, it could be flapoo, which isn't a word, but you know what I mean. It could be flout. There are so many things it could still be. It could be flame, it could be flamey, it could be flarn. It's probably not flarn, but I digress. So he demands to compete against super heavyweights, and they typically kick his ass because they're like the 17th and 21st most important dude in the company, and he's, again, the 29th most important dude in the company. What would be not legit 7 feet tall? Most wrestlers who are announced as 7 feet tall. If you ever hear a wrestler billed as being 7 foot tall, there is a good goddamn chance that that wrestler is 6'9", 6'10". You know, there were times when they tried to tell people that The Undertaker was 7 foot tall. The Undertaker is like 6'10". They tried to tell people that, you know, say Big Cass, who now I swear to God wrestles as a wrestler named Big Bill, is 7 foot tall. He's like 6'10". It's wrestling. You inflate. So, yeah. But no, the Big Show is legit 7'4", I know he's billed at 7'4", which makes me think he's probably like 7'1", 7'2", but he's legit 7 foot tall. Or Mark Henry, who was no kidding, the world's strongest man at one point, and then was billed as that for the next 25 years of his life, because that's how it works. It's not really how it works, but it's how it works in professional wrestling. Mark Henry, who in addition to being very, very strong, was very, very large, like Bob Holly and his quote-unquote cousin, Crash Holly. And Crash Holly was a very short wrestler who, very short, tiny wrestler who the gimmick was, yeah. Okay, Big Show is legit 7 foot even. That sounds about right. He was billed at 7'4". So that's the kind of inflation we're talking about here. Big dude inflation. It is Vince McMahon's kink and something that happens in professional wrestling. Moving right along. So Bob and his cousin Crash were fun. Crash Holly was one of the funniest hardcore champions ever, and unfortunately, folks who know this already know, but it should be mentioned that Crash was one of the many wrestlers who unfortunately passed away in the mid-2000s when drug use was even more endemic than it is today. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. Another story, real quick, about Bob Holly. I mentioned that Bob was never more than the, say, 29th most important dude in the company. Well, there's one time when the 29th most important dude in the company can get a world title shot and have it seem kinda sorta legitimate. And that time is the Royal fucking Rumble. Because the Royal Rumble, in case you didn't know, is a match where 30 dudes come in and they fight and they try to get a title shot or something, right? But the important thing is there's a whole pay-per-view centered around the Royal Rumble match, and it's called the Royal Rumble. By the way, is this Royal Flair? It's not. Okay, good to know. So the Royal Rumble is a pay-per-view in addition to being a match, and at most pay-per-views they try to have world title matches because, hey, they want a big important match on their big important show. However, everybody knows that the Royal Rumble is not it's not a pay-per-view that's sold for the world title match. It's a pay-per-view that's sold for the Royal fucking Rumble, which is probably the best gimmick match concept in the history of gimmick match concepts. Like, okay, steel cage matches are great. And I understand that no DQ matches are great, falls count anywhere. Okay, cool, fine. The Royal Rumble is a stupid ass concept that just always works. Anyway, I can't wait for I can't wait for Tony Khan to buy WWE so that he can do absolutely nothing with their entire video library or the wealth of intellectual property that they have or the gazillion wrestlers they have under contract, but he can do an All Elite Wrestling Royal Rumble. That would be good. He could also just steal the match concept. He should just steal the match concept, attack WWE from their flank. It's not flank. Uh-oh. This could be a problem. Anyway. So one time, when he was just a meaningless 29th most important dude in the company, Bob Holly was one of many wrestlers who were fed to Brock Lesnar, not literally, as Brock Lesnar was being quickly pushed up the card. Bob Holly and Brock Lesnar had what was supposed to be a meaningless, nothing happening match on SmackDown, where Brock, for the most part, just kicked Bob Holly's ass, which was Bob Holly's lot in life. Well, what happened during the match, and this is actually like a serious thing that actually happened, is Brock was trying to give Holly a powerbomb, and for whatever reason, either, if you go back and watch, it's hard to see. If you listen to various sides, there's a lot of controversy about this. Either Bob Holly sandbagged Brock Lesnar, which is a term for, like, I'm going to let you guys in on a secret. Professional wrestling is fake, and the guys in the ring aren't really fighting. They're actually cooperating to put on a performance for everyone. Okay. Keep that under your hat. So Bob Holly was supposed to go up for a powerbomb, and to go up for a powerbomb, what you do is, in wrestling, a powerbomb is when a guy has another guy and he bends him over, puts his heads between his legs, and then he lifts him up, flips him up, and slams him down on his back, right? It's a very impressive looking move. What happens is the guy taking the move is supposed to jump right as the guy delivering the move lifts him, right? You're supposed to bend your legs and push up and help your opponent out. Sam, we all thought wrestling was real when we were kids. I thought wrestling was real when I was a kid. I was a kid. It's kind of who it's marketed to be honest. By the way, is it actually flout? Seriously? That's not even a word. Huh. Interesting. What the fuck is this? Uh-oh. Is it flayed? That's not a word. No, flayed is a 6-letter word. Is it flays? No. You can't. Ooh, you have a story of your hilarious denial. Ooh. All right, now I want to hear a story of hilarious denial, but also I want to know what this word is. It can't be flame. Is flamey a word? It could be flamey. It's... Oh, we're in trouble. Oh, we're in trouble. We better tell another story. Okay, so Bob Holly's supposed to go up for a powerbomb, right? Either, depending on who you listen to, either Bob Holly sandbags Brock Lesnar, which basically means he doesn't go up for a powerbomb and turns his body weight into dead weight and tries to embarrass Lesnar by making him deadlift him rather than cooperating and making him look impressive. Or Brock is a green-ass rookie wrestler who just fucks up the spot real bad. Either one of those things happens. But regardless, instead of smoothly going up for the powerbomb and being slammed down on his back and being pinned like a jamoke, Bob does not go all the way up for the powerbomb. Brock has to adjust the weight of Bob Holly's body, and Bob slips and falls and lands directly on the back of his head and kind of crumples up and actually legitimately breaks his fucking neck. Fortunately for him, it was not a terrible career-ending, life-altering... Well, it was probably life-altering, but it was not life-ending, and it was not career-ending injury. Instead, he had to have surgery, and he was out for the better part of a year. Well, the better part of a year later, when he was coming back from that surgery, as it so happened, 2 things were true. 1, the Royal Rumble was coming up, and 2, Brock Lesnar was the WWF champion. So even though he was and remained and always had been the 29th most important dude in the company, this is a guy coming back from a broken fucking neck who has, in storyline, and probably in real life, but in storyline, a real reason to be mad at our world champion. And, fortunately, the Royal Rumble's coming up. So we can afford to turn the 29th most important guy, we can afford to take the 29th most important guy in the company, pretend for a few weeks that he's the, say, 3rd most important guy in the company, and have him fight the world champion, the 1st most important guy in the company, on the Royal Rumble. Meanwhile, the 2nd most important guy wins the Royal Rumble and they go on to WrestleMania and they fight. So that's basically what happened. Bob Holly came back from his broken neck, and he got a world title match with Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, and Brock Lesnar fucking killed him, because, let's be serious, he's Bob Holly. But it was a fine little feud for a while, and then he went right back to being the 29th most important guy in the company, and then he just kind of got old and flamed out, and I think he eventually got cut in one or another roster cut that WWE always fucking does. They fired Bob Holly, who had been there for, at this point, going on 25 years, which is a long-ass time for a dickbag-ass wrestler who has a beautiful dropkick. Can't mention Bob Holly without mentioning that he throws one of the absolute best-looking dropkicks in professional wrestling. So one time, Samurai Sam's cousins introduced him to professional wrestling, and he thought it was real, obviously. And his dad was flipping channels, wrestling was on. Dad says that it's fake and dumb people think it's real, but Sam's like, but it is real. It was really obviously Stephen Austin. Sorry, that tickles me. He saw Steve Austin, saw him hitting a dude with a chair where it clearly wasn't making contact, and you concluded, oh, this must be a parody of real wrestling, where they really hit people with chairs. No, in pro wrestling, sometimes they really hit people with chairs, and then people really get brain injuries. Don't really hit people in the real skull with a real chair. Don't do that. It's bad. So what the fuck is this Wordle? After all that, it's a good question. It's not Flabbo. No, that seems like a very mean insult for a large person such as myself. Don't call me Flabbo. It'll hurt my feelings. It could be no flawed. There's a flaw in my spelling of the word flawed. Guys, what the fuck is this Wordle? No, seriously. I'm very confused. Flate? Is that a word? That's not a word. It could be, no, it can't be flare. I don't want to burn a guess on a word that I know isn't it. So, it can't be flayed. It can't be flabe. Flape. I don't think it's flape. Not a word. Not a word. Not a word. It's not. No, that's no. Oh boy. No. What the what in the actual hell is this word? It's not flaky. We know there's no K and we know there's no Y. FLA. Oh boy. Huh. Okay. It could be flail. I have been flailing about for 6 goddamn guesses. Oh, thank God it's flail. Oh, thank God it's flail. Look at this. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Listen, the important thing is that we got it, right? The important thing, as always, is that we got it in 6, but hey, we got it. Thank y'all for watching. For the folks on YouTube, later today, there will be a new episode of Dragon Age Origins. And for the folks on Twitch, I will see you again tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock Eastern, for another edition of Good Morning Mini Motorways. Bye.